Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new on my channel, then welcome. Today we're doing a makeup tutorial using a super old school palette. I have not done a tutorial or even like a proper makeup look with this palette in a very long time. So I was thinking of different palettes to use in my next tutorial, and then I saw a comment, it would be great if you did more looks with the Tartelette palette. And then I was like, oh yeah, of course I should do more tutorials because I haven't really done any with this palette. I think I only have 2 on my channel. I'm not going to blabber on endlessly because you will see in the video what I'm doing, how I'm struggling, all that kind of stuff anyway. But just as a heads up, this was not the most smooth sailing, let's just say it like that. But we did manage to get something on our eyes, and this is what came out. So if you want to see how the whole process went, how I ended up looking like this, and what my thoughts are now regarding this palette, then just keep on watching. Yes, my hair is in a wet bun because I didn't want to deal with it right now, so we'll deal with it later. I'm going to start prepping my face, which I haven't done on camera in a very long time. I'm going to start off with the BECCA First Light Priming Filter. I'm going to apply that on my whole face. It does moisturize a bit, but the main thing that it does is that it just brightens up the skin a bit, makes it a bit more alive. Well, now I've rubbed it red, but you know. Now that we've done that, I'm also going to apply, of course, my NYX Dark Circle Concealer in the shade Medium. And the last thing we want to do is we also want to prime our eyelids. So I'm going to take my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the original formula, going over my eyelids. So now we can dive into this. It has been such a long time since I last played with this on camera. I'm first going to take this beige shade called Wanderer, and I'm going to put that in my crease. As you can see, I took it all the way in, and I took it quite close to my brow bone because of my hooded eyelids. And I also took it in my outer V the tiniest bit, but I mainly focused it on my upper crease area. And I also blended it out towards the tail of my brow, just to kind of give it that feathery look, that elongated eye look that is just super flattering. So now that we have something like this blown throughout our upper crease, we're going to take the shade Dreamer, which is the second darkest brown shade. And I'm going to start buffing that in. Okay, whoa, why is this color so dark? I don't remember it being this dark. Oh my goodness, I should have known. I haven't played with this palette in such a long time. I forgot about this shade. If you look closely, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the only shade that still has the Tarte imprint, like the logo imprint in the eyeshadow. It's still visible. Yeah, it's coming back to me now. This is the shade that I have the most issue with when it comes to blending. It is just a bit more difficult to get this one to look the way I want it to look. Let's see. Okay, I'm going back in with the previous brush, and I'm going to try and start buffing it out. Yeah, this is the one that's a bit patchy and just kind of a pain to work with. I'm going to take the previous shade Wanderer. I'm just going to try and blend the edges of that shade a bit. Yeah, okay, I don't like this shade. Oh crap. Okay, I'm also going to take a bit of the Wet n Wild Photofocus pressed powder. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of that, see if I can maybe tone it down a bit. Okay, now it's turning gray. I'm going to take the shade Free Spirit, and I'm going to take that with my finger and start applying it. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo this high. So BRB. Okay, so we're back. I did a super quick removal and then reapplication of the primer and the shade Wanderer. I'm going to mix together the shades Multitasker and Bombshell, so these two, and I'm going to start working them in the outer V instead. Taking a bit more of the shade Multitasker, which is the more brown one, and I'm just taking the brush that we used for the Wanderer shade, and I'm going over the edge just to make sure that it is buffed out. So now that we have the outer V built up like this, I'm going to tap over this section over here with the shade Dreamer, because we don't really have to blend it anywhere, so that's okay. I just want to build up like a more brown hue on my eye, because right now it's a bit too dark. So I'm just taking the shade Dreamer, this one, the one that we are avoiding most of the time. And now, definitely not applying this shade with my finger again. So I'm going to take a flat shader brush and take the shade Free Spirit and just start applying it on the first third of the eyelid. I remember when I first got this palette, I was really stoked about playing with it and using it. And now that I'm using it, I can just see how there are so many better eyeshadow formulas out there now. Yeah, I don't think these shadows are all that great, to be quite honest. I can't remember when this palette first launched, but it was years ago. And maybe when it first came out, maybe then it was like a good quality eyeshadow palette, but honestly right now, I just can't say that I'm enjoying playing with these a whole lot. Going back with the previous brush, one that we used for the darkest shades. And I'm taking the shade Dreamer one last time, just buffing over the area that is right underneath my brow. I just saw how patchy this part looks, so I'm just going to go over it ever so slightly. That was not an altogether pleasant experience, let me just say that much. Probably won't be doing too many more tutorials with this palette. I'm going to use my favorites, the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. I'm going to mix together the shades 10 Light Beige and 30 Sand Beige. And then I'm going to blend them on my face using the Juno & Co. Fuzzy Little Sponge. Next, I'm of course taking my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade 22N Light Neutral. We are not playing around, we are trying to save this look somehow. And I'm also going to apply a bit of the Wet n Wild Photofocus concealer in the shade Warm Light. No, Light Ivory, sorry. And while the concealer is setting, I'm going to do my brows using the Morphe Brow Gel in the shade Latte. And then I'm setting my brows as well with the Morphe Translucent Brow Gel. So now that the brows are done, I'm going to set underneath my eyes, and I'm going to use the BECCA Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. And I'm also going to use the Wet n Wild Photofocus Pressed Powder underneath my eyes as well, just the tiniest bit. And just because I haven't used this in a while, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty 3D Highlighter Palette in the Pink Sands edition. I'm going to do my usual combo. I'm going to mix the shades Azores and Santorini together. Oh gosh, okay. You see, when you don't use products in a long time, you forget what they are like. And I have completely forgotten how intense this palette is. So I'm just going to go over all the highlighted spots with my brush that I used underneath my eyes, and this just kind of tones it down a bit. Next I'm going to bronze, and I'm going to take the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze in the shade Fantastic. And I'm patting over this part because I have 2 breakouts on this side. So yeah, I don't want to disrupt the coverage underneath, so I'm patting over them. Since I haven't used blush in a while, I decided to bust this thing out. This is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Blush in the shade Barely Blushing. And I'm going to apply some of that on my cheeks, but just the tiniest bit though. Last but not least, I'm of course going to apply my trusty Givenchy Healthy Glow Powder in the shade number 2. So now that the face makeup is done, we're going to move on to the lower lash line. For the lower lash line, I'm first going to take the shade Wanderer, and I'm going to run that over the whole lower lash line. And before wrapping up this look, I'm also going to apply the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Perversion. I'm going to use it in my tight line and also the tiniest bit in my waterline as well. And now I'm again taking the 2 shades that we used on the top lid, so Multitasker and Bombshell, mixing those 2 together and running them very close to my waterline. And I'm just using the previous brush to buff over the dark shade. And now I'm just going to curl my lashes, apply some mascara, apply some falsies. Then I'm also going to apply a lip, and we will be all done with this look. So this is the final look. I decided to go with the Meet Matte Hues Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick by The Balm in the shade Honest. Is this my favorite look? No. I struggled so hard to get it to look like this, and this is still patchy and uneven and unblended. It really isn't like the best when it comes to formula. The lighter shades I do actually quite enjoy, and I do use a lot off camera on a daily basis. Just the shade Wanderer on its own, I love just busting that in the crease or just dusting that all over the eyelid sometimes and calling it a day. And it really is such a beautiful warm toned nude color that gives some dimension to the eyes, but it doesn't look like too much. I can't like bash this palette completely because I do enjoy like half of it, but then the other half, yeah, is really not my favorite. It's so interesting to see how our likes and dislikes change throughout the years, because I really do remember when I first got this, I was over the moon. I was so incredibly blown away by this palette. Honestly, I don't even know what to expect. I have no idea whether you guys are actually going to like this look or whether it's just complete crap. I have no idea how you're gonna react. I don't know. If you have this palette and you love it and you manage to work with it better than I did, then I do love the color combo. I love the concept of this eye look because it's so simple and it's fairly quick as well, if you manage to get the shadows to work well for you. So yeah, it might be worth a try if you are on good terms with this palette. If not, then yeah, I don't know. You might want to wait for the next tutorial. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you did enjoy it, then please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. And if this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, then please go and check out my other tutorials because I promise I can do makeup better than this. That's that. Thank you guys so much again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!